As you know, we are celebrating 100 years of Hindustan Times. And today for this special session, I have two gentlemen with me who've actually made headlines in more than 30 out of those 100 years. Both superstars, both supremely talented producers, very savvy entrepreneurs, multiple national award winners, both Padma Shris. I can go on and on, but you know them. Could you please put your hands together for Ajay Devgn and Akshay Kumar? Thank you so much, Ajay, Akshay, for doing this. You've both been to the HT Leadership Summit earlier than this also. And this is our 100th year. I know it's a cliched question, but I have to ask you how you're feeling.
Feeling now?
Right now.
Lovely. It's wonderful. The day started very well. I saw my Prime Minister talking, and the day started very well today. And I'm feeling very great.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you must have seen also, Akshay was right here when PM Modi was giving his talk. And I'm sure there was some very inspirational messages that one got from there. Ajay, your initial thoughts?
I think it would be the same. It's very inspiring for sure, and we can figure out what's happening and who's thinking what and where we are headed in our country. So it feels great, and thank you for inviting us.
I must also congratulate you for the super success of Singham again. Of course, a franchisee that you've both been a part of. Ajay, it's your film. Akshay, your entry was mind-blowing in the film. I mean, got so many CTs and talis.
All conceived by my director and Ajay, my producer.
तो फिर producer तो आप पैसे नोट गिनते हुए आ रहे हो मतलब यहाँ पे भी रास्ते में भी?
I think ये थोड़ा myth चलता है कि नोट गिन रहे हैं because जो फिल्म का cost होता है and then the numbers people talk about, those are gross numbers. And
अजय बोल दे यार, कोई बात नहीं, कोई इनकम टैक्स का ऑफिसर नहीं बैठा यहाँ. बोल दे.
I think no, that's true also. So the numbers are exactly not what you think they are. It actually boils down to 50% of what the gross collections are.
But the numbers are not what they are also because maybe the actors charge quite a lot.
No, the actors charge. You want to say something? The actors charge according to scripts, according to films, according to projects. And most of us right now are charging according to the recovery of the film. So it's not vice versa. So that's fair.
That's what exactly it is. Like we both are producers also. So we produce our films. Or if we sign somebody's film, we don't charge anything. We just take a kind of maybe a stake or something, which is there. So the film will not flop. If the film does well, we get a good amount. If we don't, if the film doesn't do, we get a small amount.
So the risk is yours.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, and
for
sometimes
everybody.
there's no amount also. And most of the time when you are producing yourself and you're making elaborate films, somewhere you also have to let go of the price you were supposed to get. So it's also passion somewhere.
You know, one thing that I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me is that we are getting some really good films, and but somehow every film that seems to be doing well, most of the films are a number 2 or a number 3, a Stree 2, a Bhool Bhulaiya 3, a Singham again. So, you know, I'm sure people wonder what is it with Hindi cinema that makes them so inclined towards doing franchises and sequels and remakes, and that's not even just limited to films, it's even come in songs. So most of the songs have, you know, our old hit songs of the past, they're kind of rehashed and given a new packaging. So what's happening to the original stories, the original music?
We do give our original stories, we do, but the audience likes, like you're right, I said, like a Singham 2, Singham 3, Bhool Bhulaiya 1, 2, 3, Stree 1, Stree 2. से अब देखिए मैंने फिल्म बनाई खेल खेल में आई एम श्योर कई लोगों ने देखी होगी और किसी ने तो खेला भी होगा ये गेम सो फिल्म थिएटर पे नहीं चली लेकिन OTT पे बहुत बढ़िया चली सो इट इज़ सी दैट इट इज़ द ऑडियंस ऑल्सो आई वुड से दैट they want to see some kind of the part 2s and the part 3s so now we can't help it. We are trying our level best to get them on with it, to keep them interested in it. So that's what we're doing.
Ajay, you want to add to that?
I just feel that also with this OTT culture coming in, and the audiences have become very selective. So, I mean, I would talk about myself also. If I'm watching a show on OTT or something, it takes me a lot of time to decide what to watch if there's something new. And if I've seen something which I'm familiar with and the characters, and I've had a good experience, then I immediately say, okay, let me watch this first, you know, because I know what I'm getting into, and it just connects with a good experience which I had the last time I watched something like this. I think that's filtered down to films also, when the audiences have become very selective, and when they take the time to decide if there's a new film that should we go and see it or no. But where a sequel is concerned, they know that we've had a great experience, we know the characters, we know the story, we like the story, it's going to be taken forward. So they're more sure to go in and watch. And it's not just happening in our country. I think if you see from 2000 onwards, if you see most of the Hollywood films, which are super hits or box office hits, are all sequels. They're also all big franchises, and big films are all sequels. So I think somewhere there's been a shift, and the audiences have become very selective, so they take their time to go and watch the film. So they're okay with what they've seen, and if they've had a great experience, they will rush back to it.
I guess the anticipation is therefore capitalized on, but that's also a very positive fact to already come to the halls with a thought that I know what this film or its characters. There's a sense of familiarity.
Yeah.
And that kind of works. You know, a lot of people know this, but your careers have had very, very similar trajectories. I mean, there are some uncanny similarities between them. I think you both started your career around the same time, 1990, 91. That was the time you know, I'm not even going to the awards that you've received. There's so many that you have. But again, you both were action heroes, are action heroes. Then you also aced the comedy genre. So very, very similar. I'm going to ask you to recall maybe the first time that you all met. Were you friends even before entering films?
No, we were not friends before entering, but Ajay and me, we met at Juhu Beach. Not taking a romantic walk or something, but we met there because his father was the greatest fight choreographer. So I was learning fights from him. So Ajay, I met him there. He also was used to practice. So we both started practicing together, and that's how we met. And our films also started at the same time. Ajay's first film was Phool Aur Kaante, and my film was Sogan. That time also we started together. I think practically we got married also at the same time. He got married somewhere around 1999.
Yeah, around that.
And married 2001, so it's...
Ajay, we noticed that.
Yeah, there's something you really don't want to remember a lot. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it was around that.
Yeah. So I guess then for the splendid action that they both do, I guess Viruji is to be credited. It's amazing that his dad used to teach you both martial arts or generally
No, how to do stunts and all. So it's a different, martial art is a different aspect, and the learning stunts is different. To do film kind of fighting is a different way.
I'd read somewhere, Akshay, that Ajay's first film, Phool Aur Kaante, were you also being considered for Phool Aur Kaante at some point? What?
Yeah, when I was technically pushed to do that film by the director, and earlier Akshay was supposed to do it, but I think this is what I was told, that there was an issue that they wanted to release their film Phool Aur Kaante first, and he was already committed to Sogan. So it's something like this.
So I was also going to do Phool Aur Kaante, but then I came to know that Ajay is doing it, and Ajay got it, and I'm happy that Ajay got that, and Ajay came into limelight, and जब मुझे उस film से निकाला गया, I got a film called Khiladi. So it was a win-win situation for both of us.
Amazing. Well, talking of similarities, if I may take the liberty of saying that there's one more big similarity, which is that you're both married to very accomplished, successful women, but also women who do not mince their words. They are as outspoken as one can get. Because I remember both of you have, in your individual interviews, have spoken about how they are the biggest litmus test for your films at home. So please, आप थोड़ा सा बताओ कि जब do you take them for screenings? Do you show them your films पहले?
We don't take them. Matlab, I'm talking about my wife. So I have to show her the film, and I have to sit with her.
फिर सच्चाई मिलती है.
And in my ears, it is shit's scene है ये, बेकार है, very bad. Climax is very long, not edited well. ये scene अच्छा है. So it keeps on coming, and you have to hear it. I still remember, I had earlier also mentioned this, the first time I took her for my trial, and the producer came and asked, मैम कैसी लगी फिल्म आपको? बकवास. So खत्म. And that producer never worked with me again. So, but I really envy her for speaking her mind out. Whatever is there, she just openly says it. And अगर कोई अच्छी चीज़ लगती है, she always says it कि this is wonderful. Like my last film खेल खेल में, she was very happy. I felt so happy. भले फिल्म नहीं चली, but I said मेरे दिल में तो ये हिट फिल्म है.
And thank God तुझे गेम खेलने के लिए नहीं कहा.
Super. But Ajay, Kajal is, would you say Kajal is your best
Similar,
critic?
I would say. I mean, it's just not Kajal, it's the children also.
Yeah.
So, and with the newer generation.
Yeah.
That's how we upgrade ourselves and update ourselves, because we come to know also what is working with today's times, what is the mind thinking, what is their thinking, their friends, people around you. So they where they have to criticize, they do criticize. Where they like something, they do. And thank God that there's an invention called AirPods. So after a point, till you've got the point, you can wear them and they can keep speaking.
But does Nisa give you gyan on Gen Z lingo, slangs? Are you more familiar with them?
She does. They all do. My son also does.
Right. So, one thing also which is kind of similar about you is the fact that you're very candid in supporting something that probably, the government does, a good scheme, something good, you all tweet about it. We just had the US elections, and we know how in the US, perhaps for Hollywood actors, it's a perfectly legit norm to have a clear understanding and a clear, declaration of what side do they support. And it could be any side, but whatever ideology, whatever government they support. But in India, we see that actors refrain from talking about politics and are very cautious in, wanting to be siding. Do you think there is, you feel constrained by not being able to talk about politics just as any other citizen would?
Well, see, in Hollywood, it is a very different thing. Like अभी election चले थे, मैं हिंदी में shift हो रहा हूँ. Election चले थे, they were talking about how good is Harris. Some are talking about how good is Donald Trump. Some are saying how bad the other person is, how bad. I always believe that if somebody does good work, you appreciate it. And that's what I have done. Whether you call it diplomat or not, I mean, say diplomatic or not, I don't want to talk about somebody's anything bad if anybody has done it. I'll just go with the person who has done good. And I have supported that, and I have been very verbal about it. I've always spoken about it. There's nothing wrong with it. So I've gone with that whole thing. What do you think, Ajay?
Yeah, totally. I mean, same here. If we feel that somebody is doing good work, I mean, we're good at speaking it. We do speak about it, and we do somewhere avoid if somebody is not doing something great to talk about that. So we are not running anybody down. Yeah. That's where We would like to maybe, but I think
private.
our country is also not ready for that, because I would say with the social media madness, everybody has an opinion, and in the US, like he was saying, people accept the fact and then they understand your point of view. They like it or they don't like it, or they support you or they don't. We're not asking anybody to support us on what our opinions are. We have our opinion. You can have your opinion. But I think this social media madness is a little too new to our country. We're still growing into it. So it'll take some time. There will be a point where we would be very open and people would accept it. Because I think everybody can have an opinion, but people like us should not have an opinion. That's what I think the social media expects. So that becomes a little difficult also somehow.
So then we as media should not be too cautious or too restrained in asking you guys questions about politics.
See, I have never seen, मैंने हमेशा देखा हमको पूछा जाता है पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में, बट पॉलिटिशियंस को कभी आपने नहीं पूछा कि यार एक्टरों के बारे में बताओ या कोई फिल्मों के बारे में बताओ. I have never heard, I mean, कोई भी इंटरव्यू में ऐसा किसी ने जाके नहीं पूछा जी ये फिल्म आपको कैसी लगी.
नहीं, but I'm sure politicians को knowledge होती है, फिल्में तो सब हम.
लेकिन कभी पूछते तो है नहीं, हमने तो नहीं देखा.
So you know, we are planning to do a rapid fire or a fun segment towards the end. यहाँ तो बहुत सारे I can see politicians, I can see people inclined towards politics. If you want, we can ask some politicians about questions relating
Great,
to
you should. Let's see it.
I can see Sunetra raising a hand, though she is a journalist, she is our political editor, but she's pointing towards politicians and saying, Sunetra, could you check with some politicians who are sporting enough to answer cinema questions?
So
Maybe
they are going to
towards the
answer.
end. They will answer.
They will answer about
questions.
films, and what you're going to ask us about.
You will then have to answer about politics. Then we will ask you about. Then everyone's knowledgeable about everything.
We can try.
Let's see. We will come to that if there's time for it. Ajay, I want to ask you about how earlier when people would watch films, they would say the film is good or it's bad. But they wouldn't say things like, iski itni opening lagi, iski itni lifetime collection hai, first weekend, this is the number. Why are the audiences getting obsessed with box office numbers?
Honestly speaking again, I don't think it is the movie-going audience which is speaking about this. It's created by somewhere the film industry also, and maybe some people outside also. It's just been created, but the normal public, the normal general audience who goes to the theatre, they either like the film or they don't like the film, and for them, they will like you or they won't like you. So it is actually not there in the audiences. They won't even care. It did well because if they like the film. So it's again a social media created hype, I would say. I mean, I don't know. At least I don't know people who, when they see maybe a trailer, when a film is releasing on social media, on YouTube or whatever, and then you see something about 200,000 comments down. Tell me which actual audience has the time to go on a trailer and comment.
That's right.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Has anybody here ever done it? I don't think so.
But we read about it also.
We read about it, but who's writing it?
Okay. Yeah.
My question is, if the actual audience who do not have the time, they only have the time to go and see the movie and talk about it for 5 minutes in their lives, that we like the film or we didn't like the film, and they move on because everybody has their own life. So who is going and commenting good, bad, small details, pause one scene, okay, this is cheated. I don't think the actual audience does that. So I also wonder where it comes from. Because most of the people I know, they like a trailer on social media or a film, and they will say it's nice or not nice to amongst their friends. They talk about it or whatever, but they're not going to go and comment on it.
Yeah.
I hardly know actual audiences.
And also
like
I
that.
wonder whatever gets commented on social media or written about it, I mean, look at the overall percentage of people who are on social media platforms.
Exactly.
And the kind of, people, the number of people, the proportion of it in terms of the number of people who go. So do you think that whatever gets written on social media actually translates into ticket sales for a film?
No, it doesn't.
It does?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't because it. I don't know. See, there are things like I have seen people buying comments. That also happens.
Yeah, and there are
You
bots.
also know it, I know
There are bots, and you come to know that these are bots. Because
I think sometimes I was just telling Ajay also. So just imagine a rule comes कि आपको अगर एक comment डालना है Twitter पे, you are charged 5 rupees. I think everything will come down properly. It'll come back to normalcy because.
अभी भी कोई रेट होगा, वो रेट बढ़ा दो तो you're saying it'll come down.
हाँ, sorry.
अभी भी कोई ना कोई रेट होगा for these comments.
But that is ठोक के
वो तो जो
बाद में-
खरीदने वाले करते हैं वो करते हैं, बट जो नॉर्मल लोग हैं वो फिर नहीं करेंगे ना.
So are you saying that actors are really not then bothered when their managers come and tell me कि सर ये लिखा जा रहा है फिल्म के बारे में, ट्विटर पे हाइप कम है, बस ज़्यादा है.
I wouldn't comment about other actors because I don't know what they feel, and there are insecurities attached in our film industry. Where I am concerned, and I'm sure where he's also concerned, we really don't care. I mean,
से मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि देखिए बैड कमेंट अभी आज देखिए जैसे मुझे पता है कि 9 into 1 is equal to 9 9 2 18 27 36 45 फिर उसके बाद 54 फिर 63
Okay.
फिर 72 9 9s are 81 9 10s are 91
90.
एग्जैक्टली कैसे जल्दी से फटाफट एक मिस्टेक पकड़ी जो 9 मैंने सही बोले वो किसी ने नहीं बोला बहुत बढ़िया एक मिस्टेक बोली है मेरे पीछे पड़ गए यही है सोशल मीडिया आप कुछ एक छोटी सी गलती कर लो सब चढ़ जाएंगे आप पे
Okay, point well made. But when he was quizzing, my heart was sinking when I thought that this is a math quiz happening and journalists are so bad at numbers that I thought I wouldn't get. But that reminds me, I've taken up this thing of the Bollywood and cinema challenge. But if my team's listening, I'd want to help me with some quiz questions towards the end of the session, please. Okay, Akshay, another thing is about this widespread belief, and actually you see it in their numbers, that the South film industry seems to be more united, seems to be doing better, not just when they have their openings are, I'm kind of contradicting myself in saying openings were not important, but here the thing is that reality, you see 60, 70, 80 crore ki openings, then they seem together, they don't do these clashes. If there's a date on which 2 big films are coming, one of them quietly moves out. There is that sense of respect and unity that one sees. On the contrary, or at least on social media, what one is seeing for Hindi cinema is lots of negativity, those clashes leading to a lot of bitterness. What's your take on that?
I agree that we don't have much unity. I don't know about what Ajay thinks. Ajay,
that's what I really think, and that's what I keep discussing. I really believe that it's not about openings. Openings are a different story altogether, I would say, because they're the theatres, how many theatres are there in the South and here also come into play. But otherwise, I really appreciate when I come to know so many things that they stand together for each other and stand together as an industry, which honestly speaking we lack in the Bombay film industry or whatever you call it. I would always want that to happen, but I don't think, and where we are concerned, 4 or 5 of us who started earlier on in the 90s, you take Shah Rukh, Salman, everybody. We are not in any kind of a struggle or conflict. We discuss things, we are there for each other, and we know that we all are there for each other. You will never see that conflict between us. If there is a situation where, Akshay's or my film is releasing together, we speak on the phone and we say, this can't be averted, let's promote each other. And we promote it. We've done that earlier also.
So many times we've done it.
I mean, I'm leaving from here to Chandigarh, and I'm shooting for a film called Son of Sardar Part 2. And that title I didn't have. The title was his.
Okay.
I gave him a call when we made Part 1. I said, I need this title. He didn't even blink. He said, okay, it's yours. So that is the kind of relationship we all share. But then again, apart from few of us, the industry is really divided, the film industry. which is sad.
Unity is lacking.
Yeah.
The respect is lacking. And that is a big thing. And I'm sure, I'm very happy that you've asked this question, and a lot of people from my industry will be watching it. And they will understand that is, we are both saying that. And a lot of people say that we don't have that unity within us. And that is the big cause.
And because of that, no unity, we are suffering from a lot of things. I mean, I won't get into those details about what film industry suffers from. But if we all get united, I think at least we can fight for it. But that's not there.